I, 35 female, have owned our home since before marriage and we have a prenup. In day-to-day life we refer to it as our home, but my husband, 37, has never paid anything toward it and has no legal rights to it. Our parents are still alive, but my husband and I were both the youngest children and our parents are much older. His mom has some dementia and his dad has some major mobility issues. They can no longer stay in their home. Due to my mother-in-law wandering the street recently, adult social services have been involved. He has 2 siblings, one is an addict and is in prison. The other has 4 kids and lives in a 2-bedroom apartment. Neither of his siblings can take them in, so it's us or a nursing home. Both of my parents are older and have recently retired. They live in a major city but can't afford to live there on just retirement. They need to move. My older brother is dead, so it's just me that my parents can rely on. I want to move my parents in with us. They're both easygoing people and my husband gets along with them well. They also can contribute to the household finances. There wouldn't be a burden on us at all. My husband's parents just live off Social Security and are going into debt because of their medical costs. They would be a major burden on us. We'd have to take care of them and provide for them full time. My husband works much longer hours than I do, so I'd be responsible for them. My in-laws also aren't very appreciative people and I don't like them. I mentioned that I wanted to move my parents in with us and we could use the money we'd save from their financial help to put his parents in a decent home. He was furious. He thinks we should take his parents in, and my parents can just move somewhere cheaper and manage their own retirement funds fine. I don't think this is reasonable at all. I expressed that he doesn't have time to look after his medically needy parents, nor can he afford in-home healthcare. He said, as his wife, I should look after his parents out of love for him. I think his response is BS, to be honest. I told him under no circumstances would his parents be moving in, and he was welcome to move out and care for them elsewhere. I told him if he decides to stay, I'll respect his decision of not wanting my parents to move in, and I can look into other options for them. Am I the idiot for not being willing to let my in-laws move in but wanting my own parents to move in? Edit, I previously worked as a nurse, and now I work from home hospital admin, and that's part of why he expects me to do it, I think. He says I can work from home and care for his parents at the same time. We don't have kids, I hate them. He said, as his wife, I should look after his parents out of love for him. So you'll have to take care of his parents and still be expected to work and bring in income. Yeah, no. Hard pass. That's straight up misogynistic. Funny how hubby pulls the ridiculous "your duty to my parents, if you love me" card, but he doesn't think that applies to him. Not the idiot and stick to your guns. Oh, I would have put a period at the end of that sentence. I'm going to pretend you didn't say that. I'm walking away so you can reconsider exactly what you said and why it's a big red flag. He can retract that statement and try again, work it out in couples counselling, or we can jump straight to divorce, and you can get the heck out of my house and figure out your parents completely on your own. Nope, I am not playing the "if you love me" game. How much do you want to bet she's also doing most of all the household labour, mental and physical? Don't know how Buddy can afford to be this misogynistic when he can't even afford to be the breadwinner and provide for his family. My goodness. Good luck to him getting his own place and supporting himself and his parents, I guess. OP, I am curious though, where is his money going if you own your home and he doesn't put anything towards it but he works much more than you do? I bought my house with cash when I was 25. The housing market was decent here at that time. There's no mortgage. My husband had a master's degree from an expensive university. Where we live, there are no high-paying jobs available with his degree. He makes very little, and most of his money goes to his student loans, 6 figures. He doesn't pay rent or any of the household bills. Okay, that makes sense. So realistically, most of the burden of financing and running the household that includes him already falls on you, whereas his money is used to support himself. I need clarification about what he's bringing to the table in this relationship, in all honesty, besides the pleasure of his company. This doesn't sound like a balanced relationship, to be honest. Update: am I the idiot for wanting to move in with my parents and not my husband? I spoke to my husband for about an hour about it. He thought I would cave, but I'm not, so our marriage is done. And honestly, I'm okay with it. I bring a lot more to the table and I'm ready to be with someone who's an equal partner. I admire certain aspects of his culture, but I don't agree with the relentless idea of sacrificing everything so your parents are comfortable. They've always treated me poorly and I'm unwilling to sacrifice for them. My husband packed some clothes and will stay on his friend's couch for a while. I will move my parents in later this month, and I will change the locks and move his stuff out to a storage unit tomorrow. He can't afford a lawyer right away, so I'll get myself one, and if he can't come up with the money, I'll get whoever's cheapest, and that'll be it. I don't know what he'll do about his parents, and I don't care. He doesn't make enough to pay for their care, so they'll probably go to the only nursing home in the area that works with Medicare. It's a truly awful place, which does suck for them, but they treated me like crap, so that's life, I guess. I might have liked them if they weren't outright hostile to me at first, lol. I get along well with others, but his mom asked if I was a prank when we met, lol. I, 47, have been in low contact with my daughter Noelle for 3 years. I went low contact with her. A lot happens, but my last straw was when she was 23, she stole my credit card and racked up close to $4,000. There's much more to it, but that was my last straw. Anyways, I'm getting married. I've been with him for 10 years and we're doing a very small gathering. My other 2 kids, his kids and my grandma. So a total of 8 people. Noelle is better now, got her life together and we're talking more often, but I didn't invite her. I don't trust her not to pull a stunt at the wedding. He got back to her and she was mad. Long argument on both sides, and in the end she called me an idiot. My kids are divided on this issue. I'm afraid she might get really intoxicated or try to get into an argument with the guests. I would hope she wouldn't try to fight someone, but that has happened before. I want an outside opinion. Am I the idiot for not inviting my daughter to my wedding? Not the idiot. You know your daughter, and the fact that your other kids are divided, meaning that some of them agree with not inviting her, you are justified in it. If a sibling also thinks their sister shouldn't be there, it's pretty damning. Rebuilding trust takes time, and if you aren't ready to have her at a high-stakes event like a wedding, you have every right to not invite her. She broke your trust and had to work to rebuild it before you could fully invite her back into your life. You are the idiot, OP. Why do you think she'd pull a stunt? With one of the 8 people there, that's a low-key event with just close family. Presumably they all know her and what had happened in the past. If you intend to ever repair this relationship, I feel like inviting her to your wedding is a step that would need to happen. If you're happy never reconciling, do whatever you want. This is a fix-it-or-leave-it moment. Your wedding and your choice, but that choice will have long-term consequences. My father didn't invite me to his second wedding as a child. He's surprised now that I've gone no contact with him since I turned 18 and was legally able to go no contact. It's been over a decade now. I know way too little about OP's life to judge this question, but she should know that this decision might end her relationship with her daughter forever. My daughter, nearly adult, got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes in late spring. Her diagnosis wasn't really dramatic or anything. My stepsister has had it since she was a child, so when I noticed that she was drinking a lot, I immediately brought her to the doctor, and here we are. I can honestly say we've adjusted pretty well. My stepsister came over when she came home and helped us out a lot. My daughter is old enough that she can handle most of it on her own. Here's the problem. Ever since her diagnosis, she has completely stopped taking care of anything around the house. We have quite a few animals that she and her siblings, pre-tween and tween, share the responsibilities of. They've had to step up a ton because she won't even feed the dogs anymore. Because they're so young, there are a lot of things that they cannot physically do. I'm a single mom who had to get a second job to pay for her insulin. Obviously, I don't hold that against her, it's not her fault, but I don't have time for the animals. Not to mention her grades are all Fs now. The other day, I hit a breaking point and basically told her that if she doesn't start helping out, I will begin to rehome the animals that her siblings can't handle. She had a total breakdown, telling me I had no idea what she was going through and how hard it was. I told her it was not an excuse to completely neglect everything, and that she had to get her crap together or the animals would be finding new homes. She ran out of the room crying and has spoken about 3 words to me since then. I understand this disease is a lot to handle, and I'm trying to be as supportive as possible, but I don't know what to do anymore. My stepsister says I need to give her time to adjust, but I don't know if I can. Am I a terrible person for doing this? Edit, she is in therapy and a support group for teens with chronic illnesses. The animals are hers that she wanted and bought herself. Yeah, dude, you are the idiot. Her diagnosis wasn't really dramatic. For who? Would severe DKA be dramatic enough for you to validate her? She's not quite an adult and her life is different now. She's a child, you're the parent. She's depressed because it sucks and she's struggling to adjust to her new reality. Consider the developmental stage of a teen. Your sister's experience is helpful, but she's had years and years to process this, while your daughter is a few months in. This is what it boils down to. OP is tired and the teenager is in shock and on autopilot. Neither has had the chance to sit down and verbalize their feelings. Mom assumes everything is good since the teen is getting her needed medication and doesn't see a reason for being too tired to do chores. There are probably so many things they're thinking about and worried about. Insulin isn't going to fix that. Talk things out. I agree, no idiots here. Your daughter is in fact going through a lot, and it does sound like your empathy is running short. But she doesn't have to relearn how to walk. She hasn't had cancer or a stroke or something immediately debilitating. And to make the pets suffer is not okay. The solution probably is to rehome the pets if you all don't have the capacity. That sounds like the kindest option for the animals, which gives you and her more breathing room. My sister has a teen son. His dad's a deadbeat. Anyway, my sister married Craig a year ago. He's the type that thinks anyone uneducated or dumb is worthless, and he clearly thinks my nephew is one of them because his grades aren't ideal. He's a bit of a daydreamer. Well, they invited my family to dinner and it wasn't good. My nephew told us he got a job as a lifeguard a couple of minutes in. His stepdad was surprised, but instead of congratulating him, this man said, "When I said get a job, I figured McDonald's. I don't think you're qualified to be a lifeguard. Whoever hired you is an idiot." Is that the place? For everyone's safety, I think I need to give them a call. My nephew said screw you and left the house. Craig laughed and said, "He needs to hear this. Thank God I'm here. The boy needed a father figure like me. He's been coddled by women all his life." I was in shock, like I could not believe my ears. My husband had to step out because he was starting to laugh. I asked him if he was being serious and he was all like, "I'm being serious. That boy is a damn airhead because he's never had a father in his life. Tough love is what we do best. That's why sons need two parents. Dads to toughen their boys up and moms to coddle them after. You throw off that balance and get a boy acting like a dumb blonde girl, like my stepson." I just grabbed my girls and left. My sister chased after us and was all like, "We haven't even eaten yet and Craig's going to yell at me for wasting his time. Please don't leave yet." I told her I was sorry, but unlike her, I have self-respect and won't sit there listening to his BS. Maybe she can, heck, maybe she agrees, but that is her problem, and I am not making it mine. She started to cry and said I was taking it way too far. I don't have to like Craig, but some respect would be nice. Besides, it's not like Craig was saying anything to me, but he has a point about tough love. You know I love my son, but come on, it's true he isn't the brightest. Craig's just trying to help in his own way. I rolled my eyes at her and told her I was glad Craig's money made her so happy that she was willing to lose her damn mind. She just started crying again and called me a witch. My husband had to drag me to the car. He told me that I was being a bit harsh. My daughters even said that I should calm down. When we got home, my mom called me and said to please give my sister a break because, yeah, he's an idiot, but at least he can provide for her, unlike the other men she's dated and married. Apparently this is the best they all think she will get, and I'm ruining it for her. I'm also failing to put myself in her shoes. I'm just angry. Am I the idiot? Edit, my nephew is often with me or his uncle or brother, but his situation is heartbreaking. Craig made their lives so much worse because before he got involved, my sister used to move mountains for her son, and the dumb blonde girl makes me so angry because apart from being blonde, which for some reason bothers my brother-in-law, my nephew is none of those things. Your sister is selling out her son to an abusive bully for her financial comfort. Do not let up on her about this. She and Craig are both idiots. Your sister should be ashamed of bringing a man like that around her son, abusing a child to toughen them up. That's disgusting and will only cause long-term harm for your poor nephew. If you do anything at all, it should be speaking words of encouragement to that poor child who's stuck in such a terrible home. I don't have to like Craig, but some respect would be nice. Respect like telling you that woman can only raise airheads. Respect like calling blonde women dumb. Respect like calling people dumb if they're not educated to his standards. Respect like threats to call someone's employer and get them fired. Respect like yelling at his spouse when he's causing the issue. Respect like laughing at a 16-year-old for getting a job. It's not like Craig was saying anything to me. Oh, but he was. He was laughing in your face and basically calling you and your daughters airheads, like all females. Apart from disrespecting your nephew, that is, and since, per your comment, your nephew spends almost every day at your home, that is, in the presence of a man, he also disrespected your husband. Point that out to him and see if he thinks it's still funny.